busy time for me. I think luckily when I film ASMR I kind of film like a bunch at a time, so it doesn't look like I've been gone for like long periods of time when I have. But yeah, I've been pretty busy. I've been mostly in Chicago, which is not where I have any of my filming stuff. But you know, it is what it is. And I'm happy to be back filming. Something that has been on my mind a lot recently that I'm just gonna kind of ramble about is failure. I think it's a word that gets thrown around a lot. I have a job interview tomorrow, which is something I'll talk about a little bit later on, but they normally ask you what your biggest failure is, and I suppose it's got me thinking about how I want to answer that dreaded question whenever it inevitably comes up. But it also kind of relates to my everyday life at the moment. You can hear my dog. Well, it's not my dog actually. It's my brother's girlfriend's dog itching her collar. Yeah, I think so. Right now, I am on kind of sabbatical. I quit my job in crisis services, and I've been kind of pursuing hobbies and spending time with my loved ones and just chilling the fuck out after what was a very meaningful but slightly traumatic experience. And I think it's got me thinking this time of, this stretch of not working has really changed my relationship to how I think about failure, because when you don't have that constant feedback that you do at work, or at least that I did in my job, that you're doing good, or making a difference, and getting along well with people, you're seeing people that you're working with and for make progress, and you know that you had a part in that. The little failures don't mean as much because you've got something in your life that you're good at, and you're able to pull yourself into that, and I don't know, that's something I've been really missing, and it's made me think that, and it's made me realise that all the little failures, feel massive because I've been so dependent on this sense of external validation that is my job to sort of quell those feelings of doubt that come after a failure. So it's been interesting to see how much more kind of mental hygiene I have to do following a failure. Reminding myself what's true, like, you're not bad at everything, you're not failing everything, you just, fuck this up a little bit, like, you could have done better here. I think, like, an example I could give is that last week, this is so embarrassing, but when I explain the situation, you'll understand. I failed my driving test. I'm learning quite late because I've just really not wanted to do it. I haven't really had a massive need until kind of recently. But I failed. I'm not one to shift blame, but there's really not a whole lot I could have done here. I had an instructor or a examiner who was not having a good day, and decided pretty early on that I was not going to be passing this test, and was pointing out things that she thought I wasn't doing this because I know I try fine, and I know that objectively anybody who had been in my position at that time with that person at that time of day, like, also was probably gonna fail as well. So even though it's not really about me, it is a major inconvenience, but it's not about me. I still took it really hard, and I felt devastated, which I wasn't expecting, especially because like I didn't make any mistakes. It was, it was just bad luck, and I know it sounds like I'm making excuses, but I looked back at all the paperwork that she gave me and reasons that she failed me, and I'm like, okay, so you just thought that I didn't look like when I was. There was no other, critique or anything. So it's frustrating because there's not really anything to learn or improve on, other than maybe I need to be more exaggerated and maybe verbalize when I'm checking my blind spot. No, I have no idea. I think I probably just won't go back to that DMV. I'll probably just go a different one with a more fair examiner. Yeah, I took it really hard. It felt really bad, and it took me a couple days to kind of realize, like, why. A couple days of chewing on why is this so devastating? Why is this opened up a kind of portal of negative self-talk and thinking badly about yourself and thinking that you're rubbish at everything, and where is this coming from? Like, I don't normally have a whole lot of trouble with that. I'm human, so I do struggle with self-esteem and self-image just like everybody else, but generally, like, I can look at facts and I can be proud of things that I'm doing and feel, good about what I've accomplished and the skills that I have. And I kind of came up with the conclusion that I really put a lot on this because I really needed a win as a sort of confirmation of my value and confirmation that I'm not a failure, that I'm not, like, that this period of me not working, I can still achieve things, which I will, and I am. But, yeah, I think, not having things that you feel like you're good at in your life really takes a toll on you. And it can make little failures, so it's so easy to make little failures and attribute them to your character and your abilities, rather than seeing them for what they are, which are little failures that everybody has to go through and are unavoidable. You can avoid specific failures, but ultimately you're gonna move through life making little mistakes, and it's one thing to make the same little mistakes over and over again, but mostly that's not what's happening, and I think we all need to be better at forgiving ourselves and not letting little mistakes and little failures inform our self-image, the way we perceive ourselves, the way we perceive our abilities. And I decided that, this is not working for me anymore. I need to be good at something right now. Because, I think as much as I love doing ASMR, I don't know if anybody has noticed, but as the quality of videos has gone up, the interest has definitely stagnated, which is fine. Nobody owes me their attention. But it is a bit disheartening because I think I had this idea that, like, if I put more effort into my channel, then it would do better, and that's just not been the case. likes or subscribers. I know that sounds so obvious, but like, they're not a good measure of progress, and they're not a good measure of success, at least for me right now. You know, I've learned a lot more about video editing and sound editing. Like, I have gotten a lot better, and I've learned things, but that hasn't really translated to people enjoying my videos more. And you know, I just have to say, fine, that's okay. Like, no one has to watch. I'm still glad I learned those things. But I need to feel good at something and feel like I need like more feedback, I guess, because a lot of what I'm doing right now is like learning new hobbies, and I'm kind of shit at all of them, which is good. Like, you gotta be shit at something before you're good at it. But so that's all to say that I applied for a job that will teach me some really good skills. It's also in mental health. I don't want to say too much about it at this point, but you know, I think I could be really good at it, and I think I could learn some really helpful things like CBT, and I know a fair amount about CBT, but I've never actually been trained in it. I've never been trained to you know, deliver it to people and help people with it. So I'm excited to learn something new, but I'm also excited to let myself excel at something that I know I can be good at, because I think we can convince ourselves until the cows come home that our self-worth is not wrapped up in our abilities, but we do need to feel good at something as people. We do need to get up in the morning and feel like we can achieve something and we can contribute something to be proud of, and maybe not every day, but in general. I know everybody, it kind of made me think of, I know everybody's been watching that show, Adolescence, and many things stuck out to me, but I think a line that really stuck out to me was somebody saying something along the lines of young men or boys, teenage boys, they don't feel like they're good at anything, or kids feel like they're not good at anything. They feel like they're rubbish at everything, and they don't have something to feel good about. Kids act out when they don't have something to feel proud of or something to feel good about, and it really affects their self-esteem when they feel like they're not good at anything, which sounds really obvious, but I think it is so essential when you're developing into more of yourself, which is, you know, your teenage years. I'm gonna wait for the dog to settle. Lenny, hi, you're okay. You need to sit down. Having something that you feel good at when you're young, so that you can have little failures without having them inform your whole sense of self, is massive. I think it's a reason that rejection is so devastating for young men, and why they, you know, lash out, because sometimes violently, is because they don't have anything to feel good about themselves, to feel proud of, to feel like they can accomplish or feel good about, or, you know, any outlet to, yeah, take pride in, and that kind of thing. I haven't really thought a great deal about this. This is just kind of something that stood out to me in why we're losing so many young people to you know, alt-right pipelines. Is that, like, people feel worthless, and young men especially, I think this issue especially pertains to, is don't have anything that you feel good at, rejection feels devastating because, you know, it's kind of seen as a failure or a disappointment or an area you came up short. If that's all you have to inform your self-image and self-esteem, then that's devastating. And, you know, as we saw in adolescence, it was so devastating that this 13-year-old boy, you know, I want to try and be a bit cleaner on this channel. I want to see if I'm getting like dinged because I swear a lot. He, you know, unalived a girl that rejected him. Not making any excuses for that. There's a lot going on there. There's not just to do with like he can't tolerate rejection because he's not good at. He didn't feel like he was good at anything. There's a lot more going on there, but I can see why your self-concept would be so warped if you felt like you were genuinely rubbish at everything, and how essential it is to find something that you excel at in life. So yeah, that's why I've applied for this job. I really want to be helping people again. I'm really good at helping people. Yeah, I don't know. I think I need to, it's just what I need to do. I don't need to be in crisis services. I don't need to be just killing myself, working long hours. I don't need to be sacrificing everything for a job. But I do need to be helpful in some capacity. Oh, my brother's on.